Closing Table. I'm here with my boy Ben Hawkins, lendwithben.com. I'm Doug Yop from the Ocean Air Realty. That's our sponsors. We're ready to hit the ground running. Ben, I know you were on the road this week. What's going on with you, buddy?
Man, we had a lot going on. Luke and I went to Kentucky for Easter. My dad had to have an emergency medical procedure done. Got out of there, and Luke and I left and came back home. We had driven on that trip, and then Saturday you get the phone call that he's had a stroke, and my mom's like, "You need to get home." It would be his second stroke in an 18-year span. He's got AFib, and takes literally like 15 or 16 different medicines, and has for years. I actually got to dive in deep with what they each do and all that stuff, and it was unreal. But already heavily medicated for his heart, and just had a stroke, man. It was scary. But I do want to say this: everybody, I want to thank everyone that reached out to me on social media, and also the personal phone calls and texts and messages. Thank you so much, everybody, for praying for my family and for my dad. I can't express to you how important that was, because 7 or 8 things literally had to go subsequently perfect in order for him to still be alive today. And that's only due to the saving grace of Jesus and the powerful hand of God. And I believe and have experienced over the years that gets elevated and gets God's attention when you have your prayer warriors out there that are going to town for you. As we would say, just really praying hard. And I want to thank everybody for all the love and support. Dad's still hanging in there, and we hope for every day moving forward is a miracle and a blessing for him, and it always is for all of us. But especially for after what he's been through, every day that he's here is a bonus at this point, and we're just really grateful for all the love and support. So thank you guys, and thanks Doug for asking. Finally made it back home yesterday. Haven't slept much, so if I'm a little sluggish this show, please forgive me. But I'm just glad to be back with you guys, and glad Dad's safe and at home.
Well, hey, buddy, welcome home. Was definitely praying for you and your family during all of that. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad he's home. I hope things continue to progress and get better. Just glad to hear it. Thank the Lord.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, let's kick things off with something new on a lighter note, Ben. The Hornets won their first play-in game. They play tonight at the Orlando Magic. And if they win, they will make the actual playoffs. And here's a great stat for you. It will be the first time that the Carolina Hurricanes, the Carolina Panthers, and the Charlotte Hornets have made the playoffs in the same year. What do you think about that? We got to win this game tonight.
Got to win it. I think it's going to be a tall task. Orlando's really good in Orlando. They really are, and they have been the last couple of years. Did you watch the game, Doug? How exciting it was.
Nuts.
Yeah.
I was screaming on the back porch. It was insane.
It really was. Kobe White hit that 3 in the corner to tie it with 18 seconds left. Then LaMelo Ball driving down and hitting that layup. They certainly played hard. I will say this: in order for them to beat Orlando this evening, they're going to Con Knippel's going to have to score more than 6 points. He's going to have to show up and help his team like he has all year long. He cannot have another game like he did against, not the Hawks.
The Heat.
Oh, who they play, Doug?
The Heat.
The Heat. Thank you. Sorry. He can't have another game like that. So if he plays well and LaMelo Ball's distributing the ball and making baskets, we got a chance. But Orlando's really tough at home. I'm just really happy for the state of North Carolina with all the victories and all the playoff goals that we've been able to obtain with our sports teams this year. It's great. So super happy for the state of North Carolina, those individual teams. Keep pounding. Let's go Hornets, and bring it home tonight.
Amen. I'm excited. I'll be at a soccer tryout in the car, watching on my phone or on my laptop, something like that. But I will be following along. I really hope they can pull it out. Yeah, hopefully it was just some rookie nerves maybe for Con, his first postseason experience in the NBA. They really need him. Thankfully, Kobe, wow, just really stepped up. And even Miles Bridges, who I think probably carried the team more than anybody, and then had the block at the very end to seal it. Right. Just an all-around team effort, people stepping up. That's what teams have to do to be successful in the playoffs. So hopefully they can do it one more time. And then we'll be looking forward to next week and the actual playoffs starting. So I'm excited, and it's just a good time to be a pro sports fan in North Carolina right now. Let's keep it rolling because the
Let's
Canes are
go.
going to be in the playoffs here soon. All right, let's keep it moving. You're approved. Um, I know we always talk about rates, and lately we've been adding oil to that conversation. Oil's down between 11 and 12% this morning. Fantastic news, trading around $81 a barrel right now. That's huge. We were over 100 earlier this week. Ben, what are you seeing on your end?
Well, I see that the 10-year Treasury's also dropped as a result of this. And I think that the news this morning that came out with Iran opening the Strait of Hormuz, I don't know what they're opening necessarily. I think they're agreeing not to be jerks about ships passing through at this point. I think that's really what that means, and not blowing them up or committing acts of terror against those tankers. They need that for their economy, and the world needs it for theirs. The amount of energy that runs through that strait, that supplies energy to all the countries around the world is ginormous. So really, really excited to see progress. I would say this, I don't like going into these foreign wars unless America is being directly threatened. This has been a 20 or 30 year thing, okay, where presidents across the board have all said, we need to get out. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, Finally, we're going in and doing something about it. And we don't have a mass amount of casualties. One soldier's life is too much. I will say that. But if you look at wars that are fought, this is quick, decisive, very limited casualties, and was executed to precision. So I'm grateful for all that. I'm grateful we have competent people leading our military into those operations. And hopefully this will cause us to see mortgage interest rates just dive even further.
Yeah, drop, baby, drop, right? The rates and the oil. That's going to impact so many things. Those two things alone have such a huge impact on our economy. And to get this behind us, which I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a good thing, especially the way it was handled, like you were talking about. But to be able to move on for this, to end this, get it back open, get prices back down where they need to be. Now we're talking about the economy just going nuts. And so maybe we were looking at that earlier this year, and maybe we took a 2-month detour. But ultimately, if we get back where we want to be, and we know this Iran situation has worked out, then I hope it's going to be 100 miles an hour, pedal to the metal. So we'll see what happens. I think a lot of reason for optimism when it's been a tough several weeks, months. All right, but let's keep it moving. On the hunt. People say that they want to disconnect, Ben, but everywhere you look, somebody's got a phone or a tablet in their hand. How does this work? How do we disconnect? We're trying really hard just here in our house. What do you think? What's your take on it? It's just hard. It's such a part of our lives now.
It's hard, especially with what we do in our line of work, because so much of it is text, phone call, email, and also, keeping up with data, our software systems. You guys type up contracts on your computer. That's a screen, right? My loan origination software is on my computer. That's a screen. Yeah. So if anybody figures out how to do it, please let me know. I'd love to. I'd love to know. The only thing I could think of, literally, you have to either let the battery run out of the daggone thing or turn it off and just set it down. And almost treat it like fasting or something, or treating it like I use fasting as an example to do it and say, with intention, I am not going to do this for a period of time. And that's just the way it is. And then set those expectations with your clients or whoever. Personally, I'm available 24/7. I have this phone in my hand way more often than I should. But if anybody figures it out, please let me know how to turn it off.
I think you make a good point. I think also a lot of people don't actually want less screen time. They just want to feel less guilty, about being on their screens. But, to your point, in what we do, we have to be connected, or we might miss an opportunity to help someone. And people's attention spans are short. So if they don't hear back from you pretty quickly, they'll move on to the next one because everybody wants instant gratification. So, it's a double-edged sword for us. It's really tough. I'm not complaining because it also allows me to do work from a all-inclusive resort in Mexico every once in a while.
Right.
So the blessing is there with the curse, definitely. At the same time, Ben, and you can probably agree, there's a lot of time I'm looking at my phone where unfortunately I'm not doing work. And that's just, you got to have that willpower to set it aside. I like being connected. I like knowing what's going on in the world and not being oblivious and following things. But at the same time, there's a 24 news hour cycle for a reason, right? Things happen quick where we live now in this day and age. But at the same time, you can unplug and not miss that much that's really going to impact your day to day. You might not know, but at the end of the day, how much does it really impact what's going on with you? So you're right. I love the fasting comparison. That's a great way to look at it, because I've done 72-hour fasts, done an 84-hour fast. That's crazy. But the thing is, once you get into it, it gets easier. And after you've done it one time, the second one, the third one is subsequently easier. So maybe you could just take the same approach, fasting from your devices. That's great, Ben. I think you invented something new today. Good call.
Thanks.
Of course. So let's keep this moving. Let's lock in a prediction. We talked about the Hornets. The Canes are coming up. The Panthers are primed. They made some good moves to have a good follow-up to their playoff season. Which team do you think is going to make the biggest impact going forward? Who are we going to see the biggest thing happen from?
Well, I'm not just saying this because I'm a huge Panthers fan, but I love what Dan Morgan, the GM, is doing and the moves that he's making. This guy gets it. He's an old school, tough football player, and he's apparently a really good general manager. I love seeing the first of all, how they've developed the players that they have and the players that they're adding to the roster to make us pretty solid. So I think the Panthers have a tremendous upside. I mean, hell, they've been in the bottom for so long. You can only go up from that point, right? But but they're doing a great job in organizing it and putting all the pieces together. I really like what I'm seeing, and I also think Charlotte is right there. They're right there. They're extremely competitive. They bring in maybe a couple more pieces to the puzzle next season, and if they keep the group that they have together, they can have a heck of a run. I mean, the way they finished the season has been unbelievable. They've had one of the best records in the East since January. I mean, that's saying something. A lot of teams can fold at that point and say, you know what, we're just going for the draft and we don't have it anyway. Those guys came together and really started playing team basketball and playing well with each other. So I think both of those Carolina Hurricanes have always been, they've been really solid. So they're, the upside for them may not be as high. I mean, obviously a championship's a championship, but they've been competitive. Charlotte, the Hornets and the Panthers, they've been in the cellar. So I think they have the biggest upside, and I think they're doing the right things from a organizational point in making those roster moves effective and efficient. So, I think both of them are right neck and neck.
Well, I figured you'd say the Panthers because it's April 17th and you've got a Panthers shirt on. So I know you're a football guy. It just is what it is. I think that what people forget, because the Hornets have been bad for so long, is that, not taking anything away from Kentucky, because it's a huge basketball state too, but North Carolina is a massive basketball state. You've got 4 Power 4 teams in North Carolina. You got a bunch of historically really good mid-major programs in North Carolina. Before George Shinn completely ruined the Hornets, they were the biggest draw in the NBA. They led in attendance every year. The Alonzo, Muggsy, LJ days. Now, unfortunately, that was 30 years ago. And they've had a little bit of success in between. And then they had the whole unfortunate mistake that was the Bobcats. But it seems like with this new leadership, they've been patient in developing. They won the NBA Cup during the regular season, and the G League team just won the title. So it's not like just the Hornets are on a fluky run. The organization is doing the things that's committing to success that it hasn't done in a long, long time. So I hope they can keep it rolling. I hope they win it tonight, so at least we can experience a true series in the playoffs and use that because it'll be a big task if we have to play the Pistons, and there's a ton of bad blood there. They just love to go at each other. So I mean, beating them, and they've been the best team in the NBA basically all year, but just to have that opportunity for a young team to go in there and go through that to prepare them for next year would be huge. So I think really tonight's the biggest game of the year, just because what that could do for the team going forward. So we'll see.
Right.
Let's keep moving on to due diligence. We've talked before about the best time to list. It's an incredibly weird market right now, Ben. We were talking on the phone earlier today about your conversations with other agents and what they're seeing in the marketplace. Now, obviously, buyers have backed off a little bit because the rate spiked during this whole Iran situation, but they've calmed down and dropped back from where they went up to. So I think hopefully we're headed in the right direction. You said the Treasury's looking down, the yield's down. So that's a good sign too, an indicator that maybe they'll continue to slip a little bit more. But it's super weird. And I'm having conversations because I've got several listings right now, and I'm really tempering expectations for my clients because it's tough for sellers. We've been talking about for 4 or 5 months now that the number of sellers outweigh the number of buyers almost 2 to 1. So there's a huge amount of competition out there. And while we have seen multiple offers, based on what I'm seeing, and our team's got about 21 listings right now, 21 listings on the market for our team. And what you're hearing from other agents, it's still really tough for sellers. Back me up. Tell me, let's recap what you've been hearing.
Same thing. I mean, and I listen to the experts like yourself as it pertains to the market and what's going on in the world of real estate as a whole. I mean, my job is mortgage. You're the real estate expert. I will tell you that I'm not seeing a ton. I'm seeing a lot. To your point, I'm seeing a ton more listings than I am buyers in the market. And I've also seen the last couple of weeks, things started to take off about a couple months ago. And then the last 3 or 4 weeks, 45 days, I've seen that taper down because their interest rates went up 0.75%. They're starting to go back down a little bit off of that. And with the Iran, this is all based on the Iran conflict and oil. Yeah. This is all it is. Yeah. And once that gets resolved, we'll be back to a place of normalcy and progression. As far as interest rate reduction. So that's my kind of thing on it, Doug. I mean, you're the guy to go to on that stuff, but I'm seeing everything that you mentioned. I'm seeing exactly the same thing on my end.
Well, and it's good to be able to tell sellers that too, because it's understandably they'll come and they're like, well, why aren't we getting showings? Well, a lot of people aren't getting showings. I can tell you we're getting exposure. I can show you all the views you're getting on all the major sites. It's not for lack of exposure. Your home's marketed well. Buyers are fence sitting unless they have to make a decision right now. And not only are they fence sitting because of what we just talked about, they've got a multitude of options. They can pick and choose and be choosy. People want turnkey right now. They don't want to have to get in and replace and paint and clean and all that stuff. So if you're not maximizing your listing by making sure it has all those things, you're already behind the 8 ball when the 8 ball is way out in front of us. So just some things, just a little market overview, place in time where we are right now. I think it's always helpful to set expectations so people know what's actually going on out there and trust us because we're the ones that are having the conversations and seeing the feedback, et cetera. So,
Amen.
But let's keep it moving to my favorite part of every show, basically fix this, because the two grumpy old men here love to gripe. Why is every app worse after you update it? What's going on?
I don't know. The whole phone is a whole too. When it does those system updates on your iPhone, I mean, it comes back and I don't even know how to use the damn thing halfway. Like it updates stuff that I'm like, this isn't an update. This is a backdate. It made it a whole lot harder for me to be able to use my phone. I think also they do this stuff with these updates so they can sell you new technology. Like, oh, the old iPhone 10 won't support this new update. Therefore, you're not going to be able to do this, that, or the other. So you got to get a new device. You got to get a new product. I think some of it's forced, but also technology evolves in defense of all that. But yeah, I mean, it's a mess. I just wish they'd leave it alone. It was working fine before it updated. I don't need an update for this bug or this twitch because it's not like there's nothing happening. Like I'm good. Leave me alone. It ought to be optional, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, where your technology will still continue to work effectively and you don't have to do these updates that they require you to do. It's just stupid. What do you think? What do you think, grumpy dude?
Well, I got to admit that they got me earlier this week. I had to go and trade my phone in just because it wasn't working the way I needed it to. And like we talked about earlier, I'm connected to this thing 24/7. It's got to work. If it doesn't, I'm not able to help people. I'm missing opportunities. I'm letting things slip through my fingers, and I can't afford to do that. I mean, it's my lifeblood for my business. So I had to do it, and so far so good. Hopefully they give me 2 years instead of one year this time or whatever it is, because there's no way. Hey, huge conspiracy theory here. They're absolutely slowing our shit down, so we have to trade them in or buy new ones.
Right.
There's no doubt
100%.
about it. No doubt.
No question. No question.
No doubt.
That's
All
not
right,
a gripe either. That's just the way it is. And it should be brought up. It should be brought up and made to be an important detail, like of the fact that there's not any type of litigation on this or whatever. Like, come on. I mean, you talk about fleecing somebody.
Yeah, for real.
But anyway.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. Getting local. North Carolina. Hey, Ben, North Carolina is looking at a drought. I mean, we're in a drought. We're getting water restriction notifications. I've been trying to water my yard so it doesn't completely die, because it's only freaking April. What's it going to look like in July if this keeps up? How are things looking down the coast? Y'all dried out too?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I've been in Kentucky, and we did get a little bit of rain, but I looked at the weather reports down here, and I talked to Luke and whatever, and they've had nice days. Living at the coast is a little bit different than Raleigh, I feel like, because we are used to down here it not raining a lot necessarily, and when it does, we all hate it because we're either boating or playing tennis or doing something outdoors, right? But there hasn't been a water advisory or any type of concerns about usage up to this point. But like, I'm kind of used to it not raining for 2 or 3 weeks here during periods of the summer, especially. This time of year, I'm surprised because usually we have to do these league, our USTA league tennis matches. We have to do rain makeups because it'll blow on us right before we go on the court. Yeah, so I'm surprised that we haven't had more rain. They say April showers bring May flowers, but the azaleas still bloom just fine down here. They were popping, but we haven't gotten much. But I don't take it as a big sign of anything when it doesn't rain for 2 or 3 weeks down here because I'm used to it. So I don't know. Hopefully there's nothing. Hopefully we get some good weather, good showers, and no bad thunderstorms that are electrocuting everybody or tornadoes or whatnot. But just
a nice solid shower would be good. For, a couple hours just to dampen us back up and get the soil wet.
I think you should go out and do a rain dance, Doug. That's what I think you should do. On your front porch for the world to see. Let's put it on social media. And if it rains right after you do it, you can take all the credit, my friend. You get all the glory.
I'll hit the road and do it for pay all around the country to solve droughts everywhere. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right, let's keep it moving to, let's see. Let's move on. Did we skip counteroffer? Did we skip counteroffer, Ben? I think we skipped counteroffer. We didn't talk about the most overrated sports tradition. So we're working backwards here. I apologize for that. I got so caught up talking about apps and being grumpy that I flew right from fix this to getting local. So, but hey, it's our show. We can do whatever we want to, can't we?
That's right. We're just switching. So
what do you think?
Here, let's go.
What do you think is the most overrated sports tradition that you can think of? Any sport, pro, college, whatever.
Honestly, I don't have a gripe about sports traditions. I think it's cool and it's unique to each fan base. So I can't think of any, to be honest, that I would say are overwhelming or just stupid. I mean, I can think of a lot of other traditions and things that they celebrate that aren't sports related. If you ask me that question, we'd never get off the show. But honestly, for sports, I really don't have any. I think people coming together, their community to support their local sports teams, and or even if they live across the country and they move from a certain place, they still wear their gear in those new cities. I mean, it's wild how many NFL fans travel like crazy, or they migrate to other cities, but they still stay fans of the team that they love. And they by happenstance because of that they fill your stadium with half of their people. But no, I can't think of any traditions, Doug, that bother me. How about you, man?
Probably Notre Dame complaining about not making the college football playoffs.
Oh, why did I even ask?
That was too
I know.
perfect.
I teed it up. You hit it out of the park.
That was too perfect.
Oh, Doug, I knew it.
I would probably say being fans of teams in different leagues that aren't even close to each other. Like, how are you a Yankees fan and a Lakers fan and a Dallas Cowboys fan? I mean, pound sand.
Fair.
Come on.
Fair.
Get out.
I get it. No, I'm with you. I'm with
Or
you. That's
especially
strategic.
if you have separate favorite college basketball and football teams. If your favorite college football team and your favorite college basketball team aren't in the same school, hit the bricks. Just get the hell out. I mean, you're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Like, it's like, oh, I'm a Louisville football fan, but I'm a Kentucky basketball fan.
Yeah.
Like they would lynch me back home for saying something so sacrilegious.
Oh, yeah.
That. So I get it, man. That's funny. I should have known you were going to bring up Notre Dame. There's absolutely no
of course.
And asking you a question that is going to belittle a university or any fan base, but Notre Dame gets your they've got you. I don't know, whatever I'm trying to say. You do not like Notre Dame. That's what I mean.
Well, let's kick it one more anthill while we're at it. Let's see if we can get a couple folks in North Carolina ill. How about your ECU football fans who are Carolina basketball fans? Explain that to me. Come on, folks. Come on, folks. Kill me in the comments, whatever. You know it's true. Anyways, all right. Let's keep it moving. Let's go. Let's get back on track, back in order. Sorry about my little mistake there. I'm all over the place. I'm super excited for the weekend. Ben, we're still talking sports here, okay? Other than recent events, which we've been talking about, let's talk about a sports moment that made you way too happy or that just made you super happy, that you were really excited about. And actually, it can be recent if you want to do recent.
If it's not my team making a big play, it's like some of the athletic plays that are made around all the different sporting leagues. I get excited by that. This dude, I'll use an example. The Royals were playing, I believe it was the Royals. They were playing the Tigers. And this dude, like, he was going to be out at home, but he slid and the catcher missed his body. They called him out, but they reviewed it and overruled it, made it a run. But the catcher's mitt is here. The guy sliding, missed his leg. And the base runner, reached over his arm and tapped home plate. Like that kind of stuff gets me excited because it's like, wow, what a play, what a heads up play, athleticism, the headiness it takes to have the smarts and the sense and the timing to do that. So I get more excited on plays, I guess. I mean, if I was looking for a specific event to my teams, I would have to say the Panthers making the playoffs last year, or when Louisville basketball drilled Kentucky earlier this year, when Kentucky was ranked number 9 at the time. So like I could look back on those things, but there's nothing like an extravagant thing. But I really appreciate seeing like spectacular plays, spectacular catches by wide receivers or tight ends on the football field, spectacular last second shots. Like we saw throughout the NCAA tournament. Like I'll tell you one, Mullins for Connecticut. When he hit that three at the very end from the logo. I mean, that was like, whoa, how cool for a freshman to do that. How about you, bro? What you got?
Well, I mean, just thinking back about things you've actually seen, right? Not because you were alive, because I was alive in 1983, but I wasn't watching NC State win the national title game, right? I was 5. Honestly, the Kobe White shot just the other night, because of the huge impact that it made, and the fact that I even said at the moment, I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? He's just jacking it up. This looks like a buzzer beater. But he was trying to get it off so they couldn't foul him. That's why he shot. He was trying to get it off so they couldn't foul him. And so they could only get 2 points on that possession instead of 3, meaning they would have to foul Miami again. So it was actually a really smart play, especially since he made it, right? That was just amazing. Also, just that game was so back and forth. I mean, the Hornets get up 6 and you're like, hell yeah, we got this. And 45 seconds later, they're down 4. I mean, and that's what the NBA, for those of you who don't watch a lot of NBA, I was listening to another podcast yesterday. It is so different than watching college basketball. It is a completely different game. So I know a lot of people don't like the NBA for a lot of different reasons. Check out the Hornets. Go watch the playoffs. It's a crazy brand of basketball, but it's nonstop action. It's so fun to watch.
The NBA playoffs is some of the best basketball you will find on the planet. Those guys give everything. They go all out. Now, during the season, I get it. They don't play a lot of defense, but guys get honed in and locked in during the playoffs. So I agree 100% with you, Doug. I think the Hornets achieving what they did is remarkable. Orlando's really tough at home. So we'll see what happens. Let's go Hornets, and we're both part of the Hive. We need to get some. we also need to get some Hornets games next year. That we really do,
Yeah.
man.
Well, hopefully we can go to a Pistons game in the next week or so. That would be exciting. Just to recap, I will tell you my favorite sports moment that I've ever seen, like watching it live, not in person, but watching it live. And that's when State won the ACC tournament 2 years ago. That even getting to the Final Four, that was exciting. Beating Duke, especially to get to the Final Four, but an ACC title, to me, the conference title still means something. I know in a lot of sports, especially in football, it's not a big deal anymore. It's all about making the playoff. To me, that actually seeing us win an ACC title, win that tournament, that's the pinnacle of sports moments that I've experienced live.
Well, surprise, surprise, it had something to do with NC State. But
Well, of
I will
course.
tell you, that whole run was remarkable. I mean, you guys were, I don't even think y'all were getting in the tournament if you didn't win the ACC.
No, we
Or
weren't.
perhaps
Yep.
you weren't. And then you get to the Final Four. I mean, that was remarkable. That was a special run. So I'll give you that, Wolfpack. I just, I find it ironic that Mr. Yop over here would signal his support for that one shining moment in basketball.
Well, that was final walkthrough. It's time to move into closing time and wrap up this episode. And I want to announce, which is super cool, Ben, this is our 20th episode, man. Does time fly when you're having fun or what?
It seems to. I actually have a whole stack of past paperwork of shows that we've done. I saved it. So I'm going to add this show to it and leave it on the closing table right here.
That's fantastic. Well, what are you looking forward to over the next week before we get back together?
Really want to see again more progress in the unfolding of what's going to happen for things to come to an end in Iran with this conflict. Watching the price of oil, because I'm watching oil and then I'm looking at the 10-year Treasury. The 10-year Treasury is reacting directly off oil. I mean, it's everything is oil centric right now. So really keep an eye on those things and just being there for my clients, Doug. I'm available in the weekends, evenings if anybody needs me. I'm just a phone call or text away. And I know, Doug, you operate in the same capacity. So, I hope you guys have an amazing week. And, I really have enjoyed the last 20 episodes of doing this show. Thank you so much for making it fun.
Yeah, man, we're having a blast. I'm headed to South Carolina for soccer ID camp with Everett. And then we're going to meet Amanda and Winslow in Charlotte for soccer. So soccer weekend. And then Everett's got a game Sunday back in Raleigh with AC Raleigh. His first time making the squad for a game. So really excited about this. Really excited about the weekend. It'd be nice to get a little rain. Hopefully it won't be too hot. But time to wrap up the show, Ben. 20 behind us, 1 million to go. Thanks again to our presenting sponsors, Cornerstone Home Lending and lendwithben.com. Check him out online. I'm Doug Yop, the Ocean Air Realty. This has been The Closing Table. Don't forget, like us, subscribe to us. Please share, comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Until next episode, we'll see you next week, Ben. Take care.